Thank you so much for staying tuned to this channel on today's edition of This Morning on ITV. It's all about Edo 2020, and there's this question making the round between federal and state might. You might have heard from speculation or the other, we have this might, we have that might. Both might are going to clash. After that, we're going to know the winner of the election. There are accusations or counter-accusation. Not to worry, despite this or despite that, our candidate, our party will eventually come out tops. In Benin, I've forgotten how they coined that word, a tiny so of that nature. Anyway, my analyst will be the one to throw more light on this. Mind you, on this platform, we're not here to campaign. We are going to adhere to the rules and regulations governing the airwaves. Yes, so no fall short over the standard of broadcasting. With me here in the studio to talk about this, I have a Labour devotee, and of course, he's a citizen of Edo State, a political analyst. Join me to welcome Money Mike Modesty Itua. Welcome to TMI Sunday's edition.
Wilson, good morning. Viewers, good morning.
Right.
Thanks for having me in here.
Okay. I sit very close to him. He's a politician, an entrepreneur, and of course, a political analyst. Join me to welcome Samson Isibo. Welcome to TMI Sunday's edition.
Happy Sunday, sir.
All right.
Good morning, viewers.
So here we are. INEC finally, they've gotten the lists of the names of candidates of each political party for Edo State. They've confirmed that, and campaigns are ongoing. The social media, electronic media, print media. On this platform, like I said earlier on, we're not allowed to campaign for anyone, but there's this news or speculation or rumor making the rounds. Some call it facts. It depends on the side of the divide they belong to. That is going to be a showdown between the federal and the state come September 19 in Edo State. I want to start off with you, Money Mike Modesty. How do you feel about this assertion?
Well, the boisterous speeches being made here and there by opposing groups, talking about federal might and state might. As far as I'm concerned, there's no might in any of the two. The might that will prevail on the 19th of September 2020 is the might of the PVC, of the Edo people. That is where we shall be channeling all our energies into. Instead of relying on federal might or state might, those are no mights. The might God has given us is the might to vote and be voted for, which is enshrined as far as our PVCs are concerned. That is the orientation we should be giving to our people. And for me, might has failed many times. There was a federal might when Adams Oshiomhole became a governor in Edo. There was a federal might under the PDP during Goodluck Jonathan's time, when Adams Oshiomhole returned as governor in Edo. I am not sure the federal might was wrongly used on the people of Edo State. And judging by the level of awareness and political education of our people as we speak, I am also sure the federal might may not work. The last presidential election, there was a federal might. Many elections held in Edo where the opposition party won on federal level. The federal might didn't come to play. So Edo State is not like any other state that we're talking of Ekiti and all those stuff. Our people are not highly knowledgeable. But the only unfortunate thing is that our youths have not learned any lesson. But I want to assure you that the might and only might that will prevail on the 19th of September 2020 as to electing the governor of Edo State for the next 4 years will be the people's might, as encapsulated in the PVC.
All right, as encapsulated in the PVC, the people's might. Dr. Samson Isibo, might. He has spoken at length, giving us a good foundation for this discussion. He gave an example of the federal might, state might. He mentioned former governor and all that. What are your opinions on the issue of might rearing its head when we talk about political discussion in Edo State? All geared towards Edo 2020, September 19 is the D-Day.
Thank you very much. And I thank my colleague. I agree with him with what he has said, but I want to add more. Might. Maybe you are talking about the power vested on the federal government to maintain law and order and the power vested on the state government to maintain law and order. It depends the way it is being used, whether good or bad. It's two-way affair. The federal government's function as enshrined in the Constitution to maintain law and order in the country and to protect the territorial integrity of the country. But if I may come in, federal might, it has been on for a long time. It's one thing. First of all, what do you mean by the federal might? Who are the apparatus? The security forces, police, soldier, DSS, civil defense, and other paramilitary forces. Theirs is to maintain law and take order to do the needful. Take for example, I think it was last general election in 2016 when they posted almost 3 commissioners to these states within a couple of 2 months or so, changing them. Do you know why? Because those commissioners, they have their own conscience too. They cannot be teach here and there, take illegal action. Some of them, which I know, refuse to take order that is illegal, that is not appropriate. At that time, that's why they were being posted away. We bring down that one refused to comply with the order from above, posted away. I think the third one that stayed, I think this present police commissioner was among them. So what I'm saying in essence is that it depends on the personality that heads the security forces in the state. If another come from above, go and put your hand in the fire. Will you not tell, okay, not be so, I have my own conscience, I have my own religion. I can recollect that one of them was this Jehovah's Witness. He refused bluntly to take any order from above. So those people using them are not even federal. They are the personnel, the hierarchy, the chairman, the commissioner of a commission, and this and that. The one using them, not the federal government, not the president or whatsoever. Coming to the state again, we have other apparatus that the state governor can use, like this WOF, like this ESMA, and other people like that. It's under the purview of the state government. Can use them against its opponent. So what are we talking about might? Everybody has his own part to play. All we want is decent, free and fair election. No violence. As my friend has spoken, that the youth, they are the ones that are the real culprit. If the youth maintain sanity, there's no need for any policemen or army coming to the show. We believe that the security of the state is enshrined in the Constitution, that the Commissioner of Police should be the head. Not that you say army coming. It's a no. Because of the tension being created by our youth to kill, to maim, to destroy. That is why you see that there are no responsible government, either federal or state, that will allow the society to be in chaos.
Right.
So that is where they come in. So might or no might, I don't think it will work in this state. It will maintain sanity.
All right. Now, might or no might, you don't think it's going to work in this state. Now, when you go to the social media, you're going to see, you will see words or phrase like this on the social media. This ruling party right now will do everything possible to retain the state. And you get to hear also that other party that is in opposition right now, they lost the state, they do everything possible to get back the state. Don't you think this, because of this reason, there's going to be a show of might, one retaining and one also taking back the state?
Well, that is the tension and the intimidation they are trying to cause across party lines. Well, we are used to all those type of threats here and there. Like I keep on telling you, and I wish to restate, that Edo State has gone past that era We are not intimidated. We are not the people that can be intimidated by anybody or group of persons. I am telling you, those state, our youth are the people misbehaving on the social media. They are the ones misbehaving. And when the time comes, the people of those states will decide who they want. Even the youths are free to make a choice of who they want. Every voter has a right to choose whoever he or she wants to be his governor. So nobody should be cajoled, nobody should be brainwashed, nobody should be intimidated by words of expression, either by action or by any other means. But let me also tell you that the unfortunate thing about it is that these same youths don't even know that the gladiators, they are still best of friends. They still talk to themselves once in a while. But tomorrow, even the can even still switch camps. The youths who are busy wasting their precious time on social media, making MTN, Glo and others to be richer, making the network providers to be richer, while they are getting more impoverished, unknown to them, have not much to gain. We expect them to be the ones even educating the populace right now to say, this is why we want our man voted back to office. This is why we want our man to not take over the reins of power. State them objectively, educate the people. If you are saying somebody made a promise and the person is not fulfilling it, the person should be able to tell us, the supporter should be able to tell us why such a promise has not been fulfilled. If an opposition raises an issue to say, you told us you were going to do this, you told us you were going to do this, the other side should be able to tell the opposition, when I told you this was the dollar per barrel. But as at the time you are talking to me, this is the per barrel, dollar per barrel. The resources that were supposed to be available for my projections are no longer there. I didn't bargain for COVID-19. I didn't bargain for this. But these things have cropped up. These are the education we wanted to be educating the people on both sides of the divide. If the opposition raises an issue, those in power should be able to objectively educate the opposition and the likely voters. If the one in power raises an issue, the opposition should be able to educate the electorate and whoever is reading whatever as to why he or she feels they can do better. But what you say, 99% of what you see our youth are doing is not more than abuses here and there. Dying for sins they have not committed. Drinking more Panadols for the headache that is not theirs. So we expect the tension that is being generated, it's not even being generated by the gladiators, but by the followers, mostly 90% of the youths. If there are issues you are not clear about and an issue is raised, educate the people that yes, we said this. For the ABC, we are not able to do it yet. And if peradventure things improve, we have not forgotten what we have promised. Then the other party should be able to tell us, you said it, we know how much have come into your coffers. This is the shady deals we feel you have done, with proofs that is making you not to be able to carry out your promises. These are the things we want to be getting acquainted with. If you are raising objections to what you think a position is from a sitting government, tell the people the truth and nothing but the truth. If a sitting government also lies, educate the people that there is a lie here. Come with facts and figures to prove to the people. Not by abusing these personalities who are sons and daughters of our land, who have contributed their quota in different ways to our development, in no matter the sphere we look at it. They have all contributed their quotas to the development of our state, directly or indirectly. We should not be usurping the opportunity provided by social media to abuse our elders or abuse people. Even when the youth so-called, they say a lot of things to themselves. Before you know it, these actions can degenerate into different courts, clashing here and there. People want to maim and kill people for the preservation of their gladiators or their leaders who have not even sent them on such messages.
Okay.
So intimidation will not work. Even the federal might or state might, they will not work. And those state people are wise enough. Like I told you, there was a federal might. That federal might was not deployed to ask Adam Soshomole from power when he won his first coming. In his second coming, it was also not used to ask him from power. So I do not see the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria sitting in Aso Rock and deploying federal troops to Edo State to kill, to maim, to snatch ballot boxes, or to fly helicopters to intimidate voters. I'm not expecting that. And if they do, I know that those state people have the capacity and propensity to withstand it and challenge it. I'm not a prophet of doom. I'm not even envisaging any of this. So if there is anybody or group of persons who are envisaging federal power to be used to cajole, to name and kill the people of Edo State, that person should go and have a rethink. And if there is anybody or group of persons thinking that the state can use its own resources to kill and maim and destroy the people of Edo State, such group of persons should go and have a rethink. The power to determine who becomes the governor of Edo State come September 19, 2020 is in the hands of the people. Okay. Who are already armed with their PVCs.
Now, let's take a look at the Daily Post. Now, there's a headline now, the Daily Post, Edo, they want me dead for rejecting PDP. This is by APC Chief 10. And take a look at other headline. APC reacts as youths vandalize Yamo's billboard, accuses of Basaki on our news. You're going to see this fiction here and there. You're going to see this fracas here and there about the ruling party and, of course, the opposition. And one is of the opinion that if you come to the state, the ruling party in the state, they have the apparatus working for them. And of course, these other people that want to come in, talking about the opposition right now, they are relying on outside source to protect and shield them from allegations leveled against the state because they own the apparatus. I don't think that this will lead to a clash of these two mights, the federal and the state, because of what is happening right now in Edo State. Dr. Sampson.
Thank you very much, my brother. My colleagues have been hammering on the federal might. Come to the state. We are there. We are the actors. The governor is supposed to be the chief security officer of the state to maintain law and order. But what we are seeing now, there is no fire without, no smoke without fire. What happened is that those billboards being destroyed is not from any other source than from I don't want to mention it. Everybody knows who mandated them to go for the opposition's billboards. It's not fair now. It's not fair. I have to say the truth. The governor should check his people, his youth. They are the ones doing all these things. You see? Which other people did they destroy?
But you don't have proof of that. Because Mr. Crusoe, according to our report, denied it, saying they didn't have anything to do with it.
They say so. They say so. But it should be what? He should talk to his people, call them to order. You are talking of federal mind, yes. When the state cannot control his people, then we send for the federal mind now. I'm a stakeholder. I have right for my own security, to myself, to my family, to my party members. Nobody has a monopoly to violence. So the state government should take control, make sure there is peace in the state. Talk to your people. And the opposition, I think they are following the guidelines too. They should be careful. They should not react. That is why now you are saying that it's only you. Who's mandating them? Who is removing them? It's from the powers that are in the state now.
But they said they have nothing to do with it.
That's what they will say.
Because Crusoe, you heard him say they have nothing to do with that.
Which Crusoe be that? We are talking of the governor. Which Crusoe? So we pray that there will be peace in the state, so that the federal might you are talking about will not come in, or the state might will not come in. And it should share, because we have been seeing it now, all this wolf, all this ESMA, all these Agbe people. We know what they are planning. So the state a few days ago, the commissioner of police brought out sophisticated machineries to sanitize the system. But we did allow it to work. We did allow his personnel to go for the troublemakers. So we cannot blame any side, whether the opposition or the people, the party in power. What we want is somebody started removing all these signboards, and that thing is creating tension now. It's germinating a lot of insecurity in the state. If there's the sky is white enough for the birds to fly, campaign yours, I campaign my own, and leave the rest for the electorate to decide. As my friend has said, Edo State is politically conscious. They know what they want. Yeah, you can see you don't see the innermost part of me, whom I will vote for. If you bring a heaven down, whom I will vote for him. So no need to cajole anybody, no need to intimidate anybody, no need to cause a lot of tension in the state. Do your own. Thank God, this COVID-19 thing now has reduced the assemblage of supporters. So that you do it, you use the social media in the rightful way, not through fake news or hate speeches.
Right.
Use it and it will work.
Okay.
It will get to the electorate.
All right. Now, you can see the emotion already in his voice. Now, he talked about the polling that because I had to go to the papers to bring it a bold, how will I put it now, headline on the page of the newspaper. And of course, we took that report also in our news mover of, billboard of a particular candidate. And they are saying that if the states cannot put their boys or call their boys to order, which the states say they have nothing to do with it, then this might just invite a federal might.
Okay, listen, thank you. I think I want to recall to my brother here.
Yeah.
I'm not a politician. I don't belong to any political party. I am for the people of Edo State, and I'm for nobody. As I speak here, I'm speaking objectively, and I'm talking from all ends. I didn't emphasize or re-emphasize on federal. I condemned whether federal or state mites. And I want to say, I've repeatedly mentioned it here, that whether federal or state might, none of them will work. Have I not said so? So, having to damage or get off billboards of any candidate in Edo is condemnable. It's condemnable. No matter who is involved in the destruction of such billboards, of which resources have been committed into, of which due process was followed to arrest such billboards, is condemnable. Nobody will sit and say, yes, A or B has done right. But we don't have the proof to determine exactly who did what. The opposition has alleged, and the city government has said it's not true. So the law enforcement agents have the capacity to unravel the person or group of persons who have done what. Is that not so? But we are entitled to our opinions, no matter how the emotions may want to flow. But objectivity should be the center point for all of us. Whoever did that is a condemnable act, and I stand here, I sit with you here to condemn it in its totality. I don't support it because it's an invitation to chaos. Whether it is a self-inflicted injury or an injury caused by another group of persons, it's an invitation to chaos. And it does not show the good image of our state. And as a people, it's a question mark on us. So let us desist from all this. Because if that is done to party A, there is a tendency for a kind of retaliation on party B. Like he said, nobody has monopoly of rascality. Nobody has monopoly of mischief making. Nobody had monopoly of being able to say, we can do and not do. But in all of this, we cannot sit here to say, this is the person who did what. The law enforcement agency should help us unravel what led to what. But politicians can always rail accusations and counter accusations. It's their stock in trade. But the underlying expression will be, whoever did that, it is a totally condemnable act. That is it. We don't need any anarchy of any type in Edo. We don't need it. It's not even necessary. Because after September 20th or 19th, Edo State people will still come to the same table. But the unfortunate incident that is showing its face here is that you see families are already divided. Brothers are rising against brothers. For people who don't even know how you are able to feed yourself in your homes. You want to kill yourselves because of one or two persons? Let's reason very well. Let's be objective. A family of 5 who have 5 votes, they are free to express themselves to whoever they want to vote for. For crying out loud, we have about 15 political parties contesting the election. Is that not true? So they are free. And these men and women are citizens of this state. They are our brothers, our members, our kids and kings. But like I will always tell people, when there's a single position and 20 people are contesting for it, only one person will come. Even when they are born of the same father and the same mother, one person will emerge. And when that person lawfully emerges, every other person should close rank and support whoever. The choice of who becomes the governor of Edo State is in the hands of the electorate. The issue of vote buying, we have not even addressed that. Vote buying is a thing that is synonymous to Edo State. Edo State is being marked as the state that reawakened vote buying methodology in a digitalized manner. So that notoriety, must we allow that name remain with us? However, anybody that offers you money, collect the money and go and do what your conscience tells you to do. Because there are a lot of other ways of people intimidating people to change their choices and so on and so forth.
Right.
But we are not planning, or for me, I'm not contemplating that these things will happen. But authorities should also be planning to avoid them.
Okay. All right. Now, he raised the issue of vote buying. And this brings to mind also, because if you go to the social media, you get to see so many comments, so many statements. You get to hear it is going to be state treasury versus federal treasury. This thing talks about minds. And like what you said in Edo State, it's like, how will I put it now? Vote buying is a cankerworm eating deep into the fabric of Edo State politics. Do you see both minds coming in to display their wealth, talking about treasury, to see or how to sway the mind of the voters in Edo State come September 19?
Before I take up that one, I still want to add more to that federal mint. You know, I'm not APC, I'm not PDP. What we have to look at the antecedents of the federal mint. You know, about 2 or 3 states were lost to APC, the federal party. If the man wants to use federal mint, he will intimidate the judges or use a remote control over them, but he left them to adjudicate, to use the law. You see, he can use it, you know now, can threaten them, and they will give something to APC, but he left them. PDP won I'm talking of Zamfara. Bayelsa, and then that one like that. So if we play the game according to the rule, there will be no any tension or any incidents of violence. So coming to that of vote buying, yes, it was created. The scenario was created by the government, who refused to uplift the standard living of the citizenry. People they are hungry, in abject poverty, disease, and so many things. So if person then come to my domot, Dr. Isibo, take this 5,000. I will take it now. It's not that I may use my conscience. People will grab it on the. So for you to you see that 5,000 or more in your face, you say no, go to her. Then your family will nearly lynch you. Say what do you mean? You will collect it, but you vote according to your conscience. And this not only vote buying, they've even already started when they were crossing from one party to the other. Was it no money they spent? Billions. To get the mandate. I'm not saying talking of anybody. I'm just saying it. You may take your cool. I did not say this one paid for his candidacy. No, but we know money change hand, and that is where the vote buying started. It starts from. So down the lane to the poor masses on the street. So you cannot curtail it because people are hungry. People cannot have 3 square meals on their table or to even buy ordinary Panadol. So what can eliminate this thing is let the government take the welfare of the people seriously. Do something tangible. For the past 4 years now, we know what is happening. The more you look, the less you see. Hey, we have done this. People are dying of hunger. People are dying of sicknesses because they cannot buy anything. They can't purchase anything. Even the workers, the purchasing power is not there again. So we will only appeal to our people. Use your conscience. I don't say you should not collect. You can collect, as I've said earlier, you know my hand. You cannot see my stomach or whatever. So that is it.
All right. Okay. Now, still on state might and of course federal might. Before the peaceful election, before the electorate will come out to really exercise their franchise, there must be peace. And he talked about some arm of the ruling party right now intimidating. Do one or two things to intimidate both the United saying they are maintaining law and order, so we just can't say which is which right now. They think that if these two choose to come in for the same purpose of maintaining peace for the election to take place, that may lead to friction of interests, and that may lead to chaos.
Wilson, there's one thing that I need to say here.
Yeah.
Those who know, they will understand. As far as I'm concerned, PDP, APC, they are the same. They are the same in virtually all ramifications. The people who are in PDP today, who are in APC today, over 98% of them were once in PDP. The people who are in PDP today, about 60% of them were once in APC. Even AC, ACN, all of them, just like that. Political parties, they have a way of crisscrossing here and there. They will tell you no permanent friend, no permanent enemy. It is permanent interest. And what we see nowadays is, what is the permanent interest? Stomach infrastructure. What I've just said now to some people may be subjective. To some people, it may be objective enough. So the question of state apparatus being used to intimidate anybody, it's not supposed to be. It's not supposed to be. But let me tell you, most of the times, the overzealousness of followers create these tensions here and there. The leaders may not even be the ones instructing, but the onus is on the leaders to continue to preach peace inside and outside. Don't preach it outside, whereas inside you are instigating it. So you must be seen to be educating your followers, whether the sitting government or the opposition party. Educate your followers. No election is worth the blood of any citizen. If God says we will win, we will win. Let's follow it the way it ought to be. Don't be instigated by anybody reactionary measures. Please, let's be peaceful. Let's go to the grassroots. What we need now is marketing, constructive and aggressive marketing, not hate speeches, not throwing of banters here and there. Talk to us constructively. Convince us why you want us to vote party A or party B. We have the opportunity of asking you questions and provide answers. When we ask you questions, don't retaliate, don't give us a negative reaction. Maybe as a result of your inability to answer the question we just asked you, you start reacting negatively. Let's educate our people. The religious organizations, the traditional institutions, all of us, we have our different roles to play. Because all these people who are making statements, counter statements here and there, they belong to these religious institutions or traditional institutions. So as governments are also doing their own, party leaders are doing their own, in the true spirit of politics and democracy, our traditional institutions should also come out, our religious organizations should also come out and let us preach peace. Let us educate our members. Let us educate these party followers that after September 19th, Edo State must continue to exist. Brotherly love must be restored. There is no need throwing banters and causing commotion everywhere. That is what we should be building now. Peace, we should be building peace now. But if anybody sees at his own convenience and want to instigate chaos, I want to tell you, what goes around comes around. Nobody can, any bad seed you sow today, tomorrow is awaiting you. It will come back to you. The victory of evil over good is always temporary. You can't have it. So what I am saying, why I'm right here with you in the studio, is we need peace. Because by the time there's much tension, there are the voters who can be so fearful, they wouldn't want to come out. And that is one of the strategies politicians do use. To say, let's cause apathy and tension in the land, so that we can have our way through the other door. But that is not what we are known for. Peace. And those state politically is the stabilizing force in this federation. While we were in the Midwest, call it whether in the Western region, mention it. There's never a time our citizens from Edo, from the present day Edo, have never been present in the body policy of this nation in terms of providing the stabilization traits. Therefore, we should go back to history and build more on the works of the heroes past, and ensure we continue to be on the political map of Nigeria and the entire world as a state that is so peculiar in the Federal Republic of Nigeria, right, wherein when there are troubles in Nigeria, the Federation runs to such a state to get men of caliber and integrity to help stabilize and resolve such problems. Okay. That is the generation we want to have. So that the old generation, as they are fading out, we should build on the old generation and take it to the next Eldorado.
Okay. Well, now, before we call it a wrap on this segment, I need Bonobi to react to this. You get to hear about the caliber of persons coming into Edo State. Yes, for the political parties. You get to hear APC, and you get to hear the people, the names behind it. And a particular set of persons termed those committee that are coming to work for the APC to reclaim Edo State, the federal might. Now, on the part of the PDP, you get to hear names also. You get to hear names of governors coming also to aid the PDP in Edo State. And some persons term them the state might. And you're saying that the might belong to the people. When both mights are coming into the state, what does it really foretell for Edo citizens come September 19, with this kind of persons coming into the state?
Thank you very much. There's no need to fear. If you are talking about the campaign committee of different parties, even my own party, we are coming with our own combinational committee to campaign. But what is the bottom line is this: they should, each party, each committee that are coming to this, they should go straight to their campaign issue, do the campaign and go back to their various states. It's normal. It's a thing that has been on for a long time. But what I detest is that after campaigning, you then mounted the polling booth where you'll be sharing money, as they did in Ekiti or in the other states. You see, so governors mounting polling booths. That is where they don't like the money. 5,000. They brought it as like a central bank. Governors. So what we are.
But you don't have proof of that they are governors doing this thing.
My friend, I'm saying whatever I say, I can defend it.
You said you are one of the
what do they call it?
Yeah.
Nekiti.
Okay.
I was one of the
election observers.
Thank you, my
because I thought you wanted to say you were among those that shared the money.
I'm one of the observers. I saw them. I saw the governors. I didn't mention it. We have our separate polling booth some meters away from the polling station. Don't allow the money. So this committee, these big governors coming and other officials, they should do their work, campaign for their candidate, and go back to their state and leave us to do the remaining one, to vote peacefully without any intimidation. And you know, polling session is an interesting thing for politicians. It's a thing of joy, like in the United States, UK. But our own here is when you hear that election is coming, they better run to your village and hide it because of the threat, the might, as we've rightly said. So I don't think it's anything to worry about if they come here to do the needful.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Samson Isibo. Money Mike, please, your last line of this discussion.
Well, I think in response to what the last part of the question you asked, as in people coming from different states, state might, federal might, if we, Edolites, do not prepare a ground for battle, unnecessary battles, no outsider will come here to fight any political war. So whatever I'm saying now dovetails into what I said before. We need to maintain peace. We need to talk to ourselves. What played out in the days of NCNC, an action group, is what they are trying to reincarnate nowadays in our body politic. Don't forget, after elections, brothers will still live as brothers. But if you allow that to skip your medulla oblongata right now, when the elections are gone, you may not be able to call your brother a brother. Therefore, Edo State is the interest we all have. Good governance is the interest we all have. And if that is the interest that we genuinely have together, we must maintain peace and order. And we must not for any reason invite any outsider or prepare a fertile ground for any outsider to come and unleash mayhem of any type on our people or the state as an entity. Peace we are praying for. Peace, God Almighty will grant the people of Edo State.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. I appreciate your wonderful analysis. You've heard them, they've spoken at length. Whatever you heard them say is their opinion. It has nothing to do with ITV. All right, but you've heard them. It's all about peace, peace, peace. If you don't want this mind to play out, about saying that we just can't talk about it. You just can't rule it out that it must happen. But here in the studio, my guests are saying the might belongs to the people. Your PVC, what are you willing to do with it on that day? We'll be right back after this break. Do stay tuned.